For USCFootball.com, Connor Morrissette and Chris Trevino. Chris, daylight savings time, a little dark out here. How you doing?
We're in a cramped spot. We're right outside of McKay Center. There's a flag football intramural game going on, and we're right in between it. So you might see players and coaches walk by. It's pretty chaotic, but it is nice to be back out here.
It is a little chaotic, but we still have to do instant analysis. USC is 6-2. They were number 19 in the latest college football playoff rankings, the first college football playoff rankings. Even if they were bad, we'd do instant analysis, but they're good. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, 19. That's a great spot for them to be in. They control their own destiny, potentially, making a run for the college football playoff. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have a Friday game with Northwestern to talk about.
Yeah, don't want to get ahead of ourselves, as you said. That big Friday contest coming up quick here. I spoke with Tanook Hines today, and he talked about how it's his first Friday game in college, and the week's moving really fast. And he's excited, he's ready for it, but just a different speed this week.
Yeah, everything is condensed, everything's quickened. Just coming off a long road trip to Lincoln, Nebraska. They got back super early in the morning, so everything's just been going super fast for USC, and hopefully they can handle it mentally, physically, and hopefully there's no emotional hangover from a big win in Lincoln, Nebraska, and to get a team that's had 2 weeks to prepare for them.
Let's get into some injury updates, Chris. So today we learned that Jamal Jarrett, the Georgia transfer defensive lineman, out for the year after having a season-ending knee surgery. He warmed up against Notre Dame in South Bend, did not play. The last time he played was against Illinois, but now we know a little bit more as to why he hasn't been playing. He's out for the year.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley was very short and sweet about it. Yeah, had to undergo a surgery, out for the season. Nothing more explanation on top of that. No. And did not give the nature of the injury, but we've been seeing him with a hefty knee brace for the last several weeks, so we ascertained that it's a lower body injury.
A few other injury updates. So Jakeem Stewart came out today, so did Killian O'Connor, so did Floyd Boucard. Riley did not give full updates on Boucard or Killian O'Connor, simply saying they're progressing well, so we'll see if they end up suiting up Friday. We didn't see one of USC's receivers out there today. And then the offensive line, Chris, I think it's just maintenance for a lot of these guys. Not everyone was a full participant today. I don't expect it outside of O'Connor that anything is serious. I know Micah Benuelos didn't play last week, so he's something to monitor. Just a lot of bumps and bruises right now as USC enters the home stretch.
As to be expected, we're in week 10, 11, whatever, it all blends together. But remember, it is also a short week, so you want to give them a little bit of rest, but also dealing with the time crunch and the condension of, I said that wrong, whatever, you know what I'm saying. The short week they're on, so you want to get the rest in, you want to get the practice in, but also know that you have to play a day earlier than usual.
Lincoln Riley had a lot of interesting responses today. He was asked early about Northwestern's linebacking core. The defense in particular, really good for the Wildcats. Northwestern does a nice job of controlling the clock on offense and playing good defense. I wonder if they'll be able to outscore USC, but that'll be the chess match on Friday. And Riley said it's a really smart group of linebackers. Mac Uline is the guy to know. They don't give you a lot. And USC, what is this offense known for? It's the chunk plays, it's scheming guys open, it's getting a lot when other defenses might not seem like they're giving you so much. I'm excited to see how this chess match plays out. I think a lot of David Braun, that Northwestern coach. I do think Northwestern will be outmatched in this one, but I like the chess piece aspect. I think USC's offense against that defense should be a good show.
Yeah, they should have the advantage, but USC's offense playing on the road in tough conditions has been a little bit of a slog sometimes. They've been out of rhythm at times, have played a couple good pass defenses. This will be a really good pass defense as well. I don't think at the level of Nebraska last week, but I think it's going to be a fun challenge for them. And playing at home, we know USC's offense and the whole team in general plays better when they're in the confines of the Coliseum.
Absolutely. So that'll be a huge part of that game. Northwestern does have a better front, I would say, than Nebraska, but you're right. The secondary totally favors the Cornhuskers. What else did Lincoln Riley talk about? He said Desmond Stevens had his best game of the year against Nebraska,
Agreed.
Which we both agree with, which is huge. Football's all about responding, and struggled against Notre Dame, but they didn't bench him. They didn't go to someone else. They said, we're going to stick with you. This was our plan. He answered the bell, had a great game. I think he was the third highest rated player on PFF. When USC wasn't in the right spot to make a tackle, they still rallied to the ball, and the gains that went for 20, 30, 40 yards against Notre Dame only went for like 10 to 15 at worst against Nebraska. Stevens was a big part of that.
This was the Desmond Stevens we were hoping to see. This is signs of that Desmond Stevens that we knew: the talent, the athleticism, the coverage ability, the physicality, the the strength, all those things we were seeing in that Nebraska game. And again, sometimes it takes some time. And, he was a first-year starter, only been playing linebacker not that long, was a safety, as we've talked about. But I never gave up, Connor. I never gave up. I believe in the talent. Now we just got to keep doing it. Got to have another great game this weekend in the Coliseum against a strong running team. So this should be a favorable matchup for him in terms of not really have to worry about the pass offense, because Northwestern does not have a good pass offense. So focus on the run, trigger, attack, and hopefully we can get another good performance from number 23.
We have so many injury updates that I forgot one. I asked about Wayman Jordan, and Lincoln Riley said a couple of weeks he'll be back at the absolute best case scenario. So that would potentially be that Oregon game. That still may be too soon. It didn't exactly sound hopeful that he could be back this year, but Riley didn't rule it out. It's all about the position that Jordan plays. When you have that tightrope surgery, it's hard to come back as a running back.
Yeah, it's just really tough, and especially for him, who he's so dynamic and he's able to make people miss with that sudden cut. Just to be able to throw him in there, an Oregon game on the road, tough defense, first game back, that's really tough, and I don't think you want to kind of necessarily put him in that position. I know he'd probably want to go do it, but for the safety of the player, it's going to be close, it's going to be tight, but we'll see. Maybe if USC makes a run postseason, we'll see. But again, it's a really tricky injury, especially with a running back like him.
Absolutely. So that'll be something to monitor. But in the meantime, USC has King Miller, who's been playing great. Rushed for 129 yards in the touchdown against Nebraska. And his twin brother, Kalen Miller, comes in for Alani Noah after Noah suffered that stinger, head, neck, shoulder injury, something. We didn't get an update from Riley today on Noah. He seems questionable, but I don't rule out him playing potentially Friday. A lot of injury stuff keeps coming up to me. That was another important one, so sorry I left that out. But anyway, Kalen Miller stepped in and played really well. There was no drop-off from Alani Noah to Kalen Miller, and just another feather in the cap of Zach Hansen and Lincoln Riley. The development some of these younger guys on the offensive line have gone through, it's been remarkable.
No, they have been fantastic, and I remember you and me talking during fall camp over there. We did a weird location incident. We were talking about the offensive line and sort of being worried, with the DJ Wingfield situation and not having a lot of proven depth and losing a starter essentially off the bat to start the season, how bad that was. And we just didn't know. There were so many unknowns, but I have to give props to Zach Hansen and these players. They have performed exceptionally well, and a lot of guys have stepped up when there have been injuries. There's been a lot of shuffling this season, but they have rose to the challenge every single time, and Kalen Miller is part of that as well. He played fantastic, especially for a guy who has been the backup center for the last couple weeks, and he's been mainly practicing at center, hasn't done a ton of guard reps. It's thrown in there, and he looks like he's been there all season.
I asked Kalen today about that because, like you said, he was the backup center, and then he took backup center reps the whole last week. So when he went into guard, he said it took him a second to get adjusted. But when Noah went down, Kalen Miller said he was standing next to Zach Hansen, and Hansen said, "This is your moment, time to get in." And just what an exceptional performance from him when he was repping at a different position all week in practice. So really impressed with him, really impressed with that whole group. Lincoln Riley said the continuity on the offensive line has been bad this year, but the ability to overcome that has been great. And you're right, that was my biggest concern heading into the season, or one of them, and it's been really, really good. I think that's the story of the year so far. If you could look at this team and talk about, okay, King Miller's a great story, Jaden Maiava's improvement has been good, the defense a little bit inconsistent, but it has at times been better. I think the offensive line is probably story number one for me.
Yeah, they've been fantastic despite all the stuff they've gone through this season. Guys just keep stepping up. As I mentioned, Zach Hansen has earned every bit of his paycheck, probably deserves a raise at this point. Plus, with the recruiting on top of it, bringing in a 5-star offensive tackle for next season. So they are crushing it right now. Just got to keep staying above the water in terms of their health right now. Got Elijah Page back. We'll see who they're able to get back moving forward after losing, Micah last week and then Alani the week before. But guys just keep stepping up, man.
Kalen Miller, such a humble guy. He was so happy for King Miller to have all the success that he did, his twin brother, these past few weeks, just all season really, because it started at the beginning of the year, but then getting the starts the last couple of weeks. Kalen was really happy for his brother. But for him to finally get his moment, he talks about how great that felt, and he said, everyone wants their moment, and I waited my turn. But what I loved was he said, just because I had my moment doesn't mean anything. There's someone behind me who's coming to take my spot. The culture on this team is great, and when you have walk-ons talking like that, that's special.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to make a joke, but he's like so media trained. He always says the right thing. He always says, the best thing a teammate can say, and he just keeps delivering lines like that. So I recommend go watch the Caleb Miller interview, a second one. We pumped up the first one that he did. It was so good. Watch the second one because it's not as long, but it's still really, really special to see him kind of talk about his brother and their path and just how excited he is for King, and talking about that moment, that touchdown they scored, or I guess they said they can score because, he paved the way for his brother, and, he said he was saying, go, 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 after, seeing the kicking out his block or whatever. So, yeah, go watch the interview. It's really, really awesome to see a brother talk about their brother like that, especially in the context of two walk-ons coming in playing huge roles for this season.
Two walk-ons, two twins playing at USC. Not a lot of blue bloods. I wonder, I don't think a lot of blue bloods have had that situation where two walk-on twins are playing. I'd have to go into the research department on that one, but very special that USC has the Miller brothers doing what they're doing, and they're stepping up and playing amazingly well. We heard from Jade Mayava today, Chris, to New Kinds. I asked Mayava about overcoming the slow start against Nebraska, and he talked about it doesn't matter what the opposition's doing, it doesn't matter about the environment, we just need to do what's best for the Trojans and execute. The execution early wasn't good enough, he thought, and really throughout the game, especially with USC's passing offense, it wasn't particularly good. Do you envision a response Friday?
Yeah, I think they're going to come out. I think this is the opportunity to build some confidence after a tough game where they weren't exactly in sync and rhythm and didn't get a lot of big plays out there. So I'm excited see what they do on Friday night. And again, we know they play much better at home in the Coliseum. So I'm expecting that offense to get back to making some big plays. And I know this Northwestern defense is stout. It's tough. They're disciplined. But again, USC should be able to move the ball and, bring some of those special plays back that we've seen for the first half of the season.
Mayava talked about the chemistry on this team, too, about how close everyone is. And that is standing out to me, too, where I didn't think the team played particularly well against Nebraska, but getting that win was huge. The fact that they did get the win, I do buy into the chemistry aspect playing a part, where last year when USC didn't get the job done in some games, things kind of crumbled. We didn't see that this year, so huge step forward that, and I definitely buy into what Mayava was saying. Lincoln Riley talked about that as well, the chemistry being really good. To New Kinds, he talked about how playing at Notre Dame was really unique for him because Notre Dame and USC were his two finalists when he was being recruited. He talked about how he knew a lot of people on the Notre Dame sideline, but he said, look, it's fight on forever. And he's had two really good back-to-back games where he, for a while, led USC in yards. I think Jacoby Lane eclipsed him against Notre Dame, but he was, in that first half especially, Mayava's number one option. And then he was the second highest graded defender from PFF against Nebraska. That was a career high grade for New Kinds. He's settling in nicely and no longer looks like a freshman to me.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of confidence after, that South Bend game. You're seeing him kind of build, being more consistent, his ability to make catches, made a couple big catches in that game. I believe both of those were first down catches. They both might have been on third down. I have to go back and check, but some tough catches.
The second one, tremendous.
Yeah, tremendous catch. He's been playing up, and they need him because, obviously teams are keying in on Jacoby Lane, Mekhi Lemon, obviously. So New Kinds is going to have those opportunities, and he's taking hold of them. Now just needs to get the end zone. He's got the one touchdown. Let's see if he can get another one this weekend.
Jaden Richardson's seen an elevated role as well. Jacoby Lane, it's going to be interesting to see what he looks like Friday. It looks like he's not quite 100% fighting through that shoulder injury, maybe dealing with something else as well, so that'll be something to monitor. Any final thoughts from you, Chris? Action-packed Tuesday at practice here on campus.
We buried the lead. It was backwards hat for Lincoln Riley today. I'm doing that in honor of him. Seemed a little more looser. I don't know, just got a different vibe.
He did seem more loose.
I don't know what it is, but the backward hat has got a different vibe, man.
Now you have a different vibe as well. Vibes were good today.
He doesn't know what to say to that.
Vibes were good today.
Yeah, it was good. They came out with some joking. They were upbeat, Obviously, they got a big win. I know it didn't look the best, but it was a big one for them. And now, 3 of the last 4 games at home, Coliseum, number 19 in the college football playoff rankings. That's a good spot for them. Keep winning. Maybe shaking things up in Eugene, Oregon. Who knows where they end up? So, vibes are high.
It's all ahead of them. He's Chris Trevino. Connor Morrissette. This has been Instant Analysis after USC's Tuesday practice of Northwestern Week. I'll be back tomorrow with Riley Sager. Hope you can tune into that. Thanks for watching this. We'll see you next time.